Bill, thanks for showing up and spending time with us.
No, I appreciate it. I'm really glad that I get this opportunity to, share my story and talk about, my past and where I came from and my life.
The floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I was born and raised here in Palm Harbor, Florida.
Local.
Yeah, I am a true local. I was born at Clearwater, Mies, and we lived in Westlake Village most of my life. I joined the Navy straight out of high school. I was kind of like a mediocre student, but I always wanted to be in the military. Always wanted to be a pilot. My eyesight kind of didn't work out for me. Didn't work in my favor. So when I took the ASVAB, I scored really high in electronics. Don't know why. Don't have a background in electronics. My family isn't good with electronics or anything like that. So I joined the Navy in 2005. Because of my rate, I was an ET, which is an electronics technician, and I started working on radar systems. Because of my rate, I was an automatic E4 straight out of boot camp. I did 6 years on the USS Harry S. Truman. After being stationed in Chicago for a year and Pensacola for 6 months for my sea school. My particular radar was an AN Spin 46, which is ACLS, which is Automated Carrier Landing System. So when the 18s come in, they're on their final approach, they're 10 miles out, the radar will lock onto them, and it gives them what they call needles. So when they're coming in, their ideal landing on the aircraft carrier is a 1 foot by 1 foot cube to put the pilot's head through it.
Wow.
And so my radar kind of guides the pilot where to aim the aircraft to catch a very particular wire on the aircraft carrier so that they have the perfect landing every single time. Once the pilot gets a certain amount of flight hours, I think it's 4,000 flight hours or something, my radar was actually able to take control of the aircraft and land the plane for them.
Like a
So
tracking beam.
exactly like a tracking beam. All they got to do is sit back and relax, and the radar will land it perfectly for them. Really, really amazing radar. It was designed in the 60s, which blew my mind away. But absolutely loved doing that. Say that again?
Blew my mind.
I know. It was, when I got in and we started going to school, it was very archaic, huge system, like computers all over the place. They had 2 gyros. You have your double redundance. The military likes to do that. On the gyros, they got a little sticker that says, "Please be very careful. I am worth my weight in gold." And they're like 300-pound gyros, so they were extremely expensive. But so yeah, I did 6 years doing that on the USS Harry S. Truman. I did 2 tours, 2 med tours. Spent several port calls out in Dubai. I watched Dubai go from dirt to what it is today. It was pretty amazing to see how quick it grew.
Very fast.
So after I got out, I worked in the oil field industry in northwestern Pennsylvania for 2 years. My wife at the time got pregnant with our first son, and she's also from this area. So we decided, we want to be near family, and my parents are down here, her parents are down here. They want to see their very first grandkid. So we decided to move back down here, and I got a job at Honeywell Aerospace. I worked in the environmental lab at Honeywell Aerospace for 6 years. I was doing third shift, kind of stagnant, didn't really get promoted, or it was just a stagnant job, paid the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I got caught up in a RIF, reduction in force.
Okay.
And thank God I had an interview that morning for a different job. So I got let go, got my separation package, and the very next day I started my next job. So, yeah, I knocked it out of the park, and I thank God every day for that job because it really bolstered my career. I ended up becoming a poof engineer for the company.
A poof engineer.
Yeah, poof engineer is, I don't have a degree, I just have time and knowledge, and poof, I'm an engineer. So I became a poof engineer for a company called Leonardo DRS, and they're out of Largo. I worked for them for 6 years. They had a whole reconstruction of leadership there, didn't really like the direction the way the company was going. So I moved back to Honeywell Aerospace, and now I'm actually right back where I was 10 years ago. I'm on third shift, but we'll be moving to days here very soon.
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
Good stuff.
So I was actually talking to my boss about my newest endeavor, which is Brine gourmet pickling, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm burning the candle at both ends here. I'm working nights right now to support my family. I got 5 kids and a wife at this time. 5 kids and a wife, 3 girls, 2 boys.
Break that down.
Well, so we have a 15-year-old daughter. She's just starting 10th grade this year. Kind of exciting, kind of terrifying all at the same time.
Right.
I've got a 12-year-old son. He's starting middle school this year. Also terrifying. Probably more terrifying than the high schooler. And then I've got the 3 little ones in elementary school right now. I've got a 10, 9, and 6-year-old. And it's girl, boy, girl, boy, girl.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Nice balance.
It is. It's kind of a yours, mine, and ours situation. When I met my current wife, amazing woman. I'm so blessed that God put her in my life. She had her 2 daughters, and I had my 2 sons. And interesting situation happened. I actually had a vasectomy after my 2nd son, and along came our youngest daughter. And so we were blessed with her, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I get to have my own biological daughter, which is awesome.
She's the chosen one.
She is, and she's a firecracker, man. They love coming out and supporting me, doing my selling at the markets and stuff at Brine. In fact, they're probably my biggest sellers. They love to try my dad's pickles, you know.
So break that down. What made you get into the pickle business?
Well, if you know anything about pickles, either you absolutely love them and you're really weird about them, or they disgust you. There's no real in between. I absolutely love my pickles. I love pickles. My favorite pickles was the Clausen. I love how they're crispy. Their flavor's not so pungent in your face. And so my wife she's going down this health kick, and so she said, "You can't have Clausens anymore." And I said, "Excuse me? Where am I going to get my pickles?" And she says, "Well, you're going to have to make yours." And so I kind of did a little bit of research and found out that I can make probably the cleanest and crispest pickles you'll ever have. There's no added ingredients, there's no preservatives, there's no dye, this is non-GMO. And they're as crispy as the day is long.
Okay. I have to try those.
And so I started bringing them to, my church groups, Bible studies and stuff like that. And my buddies are like, "Man, you've got to sell these. These are amazing." And I'm like, "Really? I mean, they're good, but yeah." So I came up, I have 9 products. I've got asparagus, spicy, and dill green bean. I have a ghost pepper pickle. I have a dill pickle. I have a sweet and spicy pickle. And I have a ghost pepper and a regular dill carrot that is pickled.
I would have never guessed that many flavors.
And I'm always coming out with more. I have coming up with a pickled okra recipe, pickled watermelon rind, which is like a candy, but I haven't nailed the flavor down yet. I'm kind of excited for it, but I haven't nailed the flavor down yet.
Watermelon pickle.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I had a lot of requests for it, and I was like, same face you made, pickled watermelon. And so I kind of did some research on it, and it's just the rind, so just the white part. So you peel the green and you take the red out, so my kids get to eat all the red.
They're loving that.
And they get to eat tons of watermelon. And so it's like a sweet candy. So I'm excited for it. It's interesting. But yeah, so I started the company in January and started doing markets in March, and it really blew up. It kind of surprised me how the following that I ended up getting from the pickles. We're at a great place for a small business where we don't have the space to keep up with the demand. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to restructure everything, because right now we just have a 9 cubic foot chest freezer that we keep all the pickles in. And so we're trying to figure out how we're going to expand, because we need some refrigerator space.
It's a good problem.
It's a great problem, and the reason we need a refrigerator is because that's kind of my coup de grace. That is what makes my pickles crispy, is they are never heated. There's no heat ever added to them, and so they stay very, very crispy.
That's actually how we met when you were at one of the shows.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right over at Pop Stansel Park, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so it's just looking to try to, now you're just looking to try to expand your business.
I am. I'm trying to.
Footprint.
The ultimate goal is to, yes, make a good footprint. I'd love to obviously get into, big box stores at some point, probably somewhere like Sprouts, where they have your organic stuff. And quit my job.
Yeah.
I hate working for the guy. So, that's the ultimate goal, is to be my own boss.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel the military took part into forming where you're at right now?
Well, I think that, even when we started this interview, I said, you get full send. And I think that the military really, really instilled that into me. Don't quit, keep going, no matter how hard it is. And if even when you see the last little twinkle of light, it doesn't matter. Just keep going towards that light, and eventually you'll reach it.
Sweet, very good. Any plans for any more kids, or you guys are?
No. We're done, man. We are done with kids. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share as far as?
Well, no. I've lived a pretty fantastic life. I've seen some pretty amazing things. When I was in the military, I did get to see some pretty terrifying things and some pretty amazing things. Some things I don't quite like talking about, but
Understood.
yeah, I would have to say one of the coolest things is I learned to snowboard in the desert. Who can say that? Yeah, I made some lifelong friends. One of my best friends was, he was a fuelie, and he lives in Tennessee now, him and his wife. They really helped push me in the correct direction into starting this business, and I sent them a couple of jars, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, oh yeah. And every time I really, he's the one that kind of steers me a lot. When I get when I turn to God and and I say, God's not doing what I want him to do, I turn to him and he'll be like, well, you need to listen to God then, So yeah, that would be probably one of the biggest things. One of the great things I got from the military is probably friendship and camaraderie and brotherhood.
It's always that battle buddy.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and he is my battle buddy. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bill, listen, it's been great to meet you. Great to have you here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time and commitment.
Thank you. I appreciate it.